juggling. All right. What a mess. God damn it.
What a messing mess of mess.
Yeah. All right.
I'll stick the new link in the Discord as well.
Close that one. Discord. Right. Delete that one. Delete message. Delete. And paste. Oh, balls. Ping cord had already pinged out the new one. So I didn't actually need to do that, but whatever. All right. Okay. Oh, that was annoying. It was a mistake for me to hit end stream because what happened there was YouTube Studio said an error had occurred, so wasn't continuing the broadcast. So I was just like, oh, I'll just stop and restart the stream. But as soon as you hit end stream, you can't just continue the stream. You have to schedule a whole new stream.
Yeah.
Because YouTube. So, whatever. All right. Anyway, so yeah, the internet fell over and it came back up. But by the time it came back up, YouTube Studio was really upset. Whatever.
And everything had done a bit of a dive.
Everything had falled over.
Have you re-enabled noise cancellation on your microphone?
Yes. Yes.
Very well.
Okay. Right. Can we confirm? Are we good? Marco Hawk says it's crashed again. Are you sure? Has it actually crashed again? Welcome back. It's fine. Okay, everything is fine. We're here. Good. All right. We're fine.
Excellent.
Good. Right. So, status update. We're now just making a bootable drive with the Ghost Spectre install so we can go ahead and blast that onto this machine. And then we're moving forward again. So, I'm going to immediately crack open a cider after that shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Yep, that's what I'm calling it. It's shenanigans and something involving swear words.
A fiasco. Yeah. A fiesta? No, a fiasco even. And shenanigans. There's quite a lot of warmth, isn't there?
Yeah. That's a lot of heat that's coming out of that thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Considering that's just at idle as well.
Yeah.
But then, well, I mean, even though there's not a heat load there, it's still dropping down to -20.
And it's dropping down on -20 from everywhere from about here to there.
And when you actually consider when you go down below zero, the actual the actual energy amount to get that low just becomes, isn't it? Don't you need increasing amounts of energy to get to lower temperatures or something? Or am I imagining that?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think once you start getting to lower temperatures, it requires increasing amounts of energy to get lower.
I don't think it's from 0 Celsius. Yeah. It is the increase in deviation from the temperature from which you're measuring effectively. So the difference between ambient and the device you're cooling increases the energy. So obviously if you can reduce the ambient temperature, to get to that lower temperature requires less energy because there's less energy there that you have to remove.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Fair enough. Do you want a cider?
Yeah.
Westerns?
Yeah, all right, yes. Da, 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 da. And you have Hogan's thirst-quenchingly golden and earthy medium 100% fresh-pressed cider.
Yes.
Fresh-pressed, not French-pressed.
The thirst quenching is what grabbed me for that. When I was looking at a couple of the bottles, I'm like, maybe. And it's a thirst quenching, and I'm like, that's what I want right now.
I need to actually look at theirs and just buy that Perry that we had.
Oh yeah, because that was really good, the Perry, wasn't it? Yeah.
May you thog me?
I will thog you. Never stops being funny. All right.
I don't know if it's your pen drive, but Rufus seems very slow.
I mean, yeah, this drive is probably not that fast, actually. I need to replace all of the pen drives.
I just realised I have.
Oh, you fool! Yeah. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're at like what 90? Yeah, 97%.
But it was just the fact that I was just like, oh, The one time I left these in my pockets.
Mm.
Which one's this one? 64.
Yeah. Oh. K-Dog says, I work on cryogenic chemical plants. It gets much harder and more energy expensive technology-wise to go to lower and lower temp. Yeah. Yeah, so that definitely is a thing, yeah.
I was going to say, do you want to see if you can break this one? It's my old 32 gig one.
What do you mean break it?
As in the sense of if buying the decent Voyager GTs lasts better than the cheap ones.
I think that one will last, to be honest. I think I've just... it's just... cheap pen drives are just bad, but also I think the problem is that I think you have to spend like 30...
Oh!
Did it go up your nose or something?
Whilst swallowing, yeah. So I swallowed it up my nose.
Yeah.
Oh!
Right to the bloodstream.
Hi!
Suddenly more intense than the throat cutter, yeah.
Oh, imagine taking that up your nose.
Oh. I'd rather not, quite frankly. Anyway, as we were saying, yeah, the problem is what I discovered is that buying like Corsair Voyager GTs or actually good pen drives, they're like, you know, £30 or something like that. So like, so if I want like a suite of 10 of them, I'm not paying £300 for a suite of 10 flash drives.
I guess the question then becomes is...
At that point, I would rather just start expanding the number of USB SSDs I've got lying around.
Yeah, but I guess the question becomes, could you have bought one of these 10 years ago and never have bought any more ever, kind of thing?
And it financially work out? No, is the answer to that. Yeah. I have not spent as much as a number of those, because the ones I buy are always like £5 or £10 a pop, sort of thing.
Still, it's doing up to 9.5 megabytes per second, right? Which is entirely acceptable. It's just because I'm so used to this and this.
That's basically it. Like, that's about as much as you can expect to get out of flash drives after they've been used.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just used to these obviously doing 60, 80, 90 for their entire life.
Yeah. So.
And then this doing somewhere between 600 and 800 basically all day, every day.
Pretty much. I'm starting to buy these M.2 enclosures because, like, over time now, especially because finding M.2 SSDs in customer computers like 120 or 256 ones is becoming increasingly common. And so there's now a supply of people who are upgrading 128 gig SSDs and 256 SSDs to 500s, which means I'm starting to get hold of more drives like this, where you get like just little 120 gig OEM SSDs that are just showing up, and like you. And so, because these are starting to show up, I can now just spend a tenner on an enclosure and have a super fast external drive. So that's the way forward, really.
It was the thing that surprised me that I demonstrated yesterday, is that this drive through this controller over USB is functionally the same speed as an MX500. Over SATA, like the very similar latency and actual throughput. And I was just like, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, that's good over USB, because obviously, it's good and depressing, just because there are certain cases where, like, I've seen a lot of people who, for Apple iMacs, they just install macOS onto an external SSD that's connected on USB 3 and boot off of that. And I'm like, oh, no. But it's a case of, it's fine. And I'm like, that's disgusting, but also, it's fine. You know?
Yeah. As long as it's a 3.2 Gen 2x2 port.
Pretty much, yeah. Two guys talk about everything except Ghost Spectre. I know, I wanted to be on to Ghost Spectre a lot quicker than this. I wanted to be on this a lot sooner. So, yeah.
However, we have had other news and interruptions.
Yes. As I say, I'm very happy that the freezer is working properly. However, this has been this entire stream has been off topic so far. So, yeah. But hopefully, we've got our images made up. So, we're now moving to install. Bam.
Oh my god, why can't I insert this? Get in there, thank you.
The cooler has overshadowed the whole stream. Yeah, I had a suspicion. I mean, in a way it has, but also it's exciting because we've got exotic cooling now. Which makes
actually seems to function.
Yes, exactly that. And that makes us cool because these things are hard to get hold of.
Yeah.
Activate.
It's lights out and away we go.
Where's that from? Oh,
Formula
yes.
1.
Yes. Good. Right.
Ah.
Is the freezer working properly? You don't see fan spin. Yeah, no, we're all working well. This
fan is unplugged.
Yes. However, the graphics card's fans aren't spinning, and that's just because it's idling. So yeah. Oh yeah. You need to boot from your drive. There's a broken Windows install on this SSD at the moment. I've got a PC over there that is not starting. There's gremlins in it, so it's got broken Windows installs everywhere. And I'll tell you what, the first thing I did was I checked that the date in the BIOS was correct because it's got the same vibe, and I was like, not this time.
Not today.
So, right, let's do with capture.
Off. Turn off. Thank you.
All right. So, we didn't get a benchmark before. I guess we could swap back to the old SSD, couldn't we?
Yeah, I thought we'd do it that way around.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, very well. Cool.
Effectively, and just.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to go for the super light and just get the most?
Well.
Yeah, we may as well go for the most extreme version. Yeah,
and basically have a look at it and just kind of poke at it a bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of see.
Right.
Okay. Good. Boot. Where's boot override? Why can't I see it?
Usually on the exit menu.
Oh, there. UEFI.
Yeah.
Yes. UEFI.
You're using Rossmann logic. Yeah, graphics card fans are stop-start, so that's not an indicator. So. You're serious about cooling with Sub-Zero. Consider bathing the motherboard in oil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Interesting.
Oh, that looks cool. Oh, but is this the installer? That's neat.
Yeah. Click for menu. Huh, interesting. About.
Launch bar.
Interesting. Start menu. Ah. Oh,
is
that's cool.
This is actually it's a PE setup. Yeah. It's a really fancy PE setup.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat that this will actually work as a WinPE drive as well.
Yeah.
Which makes it extremely handy.
Cool.
Would you be able to connect the freezer into the graphics card heatsink too? Not at the same time. You could theoretically hook this up to a graphics card. You just need to make up the mount system for it. But you wouldn't be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Although theoretically, what you could do if you wanted to do something crazy is you could hook up the evaporator to a water block, and then that would essentially use the freezer to super chill a water cooling loop. Would be how you could do an entire system with it.
Yes, but you'd have to use hard tubing of copper pipe, because the pipe will be at -20 basically the entire time as well.
Depends how well.
And also the gas will probably leak out of the compression fittings, so you'd probably have to braise it, because don't forget it's a gas. It's not liquid.
Well, what I'm thinking is if you just got a water block, with ordinary water cooling hoses going into it, and the copper plate that would normally go against your CPU, you then just bolt that. You just literally clamp that onto the evaporator head here.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So yeah.
This is how you choose the versions.
And yes, oh, that's very neat.
And it tells you. So you've got compact with Microsoft Defender.
Yeah.
Super light without, with.
I wonder what's SE.
Remove start menu plus.
Start is back. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'm surprised that they've got that on the super light options.
What, to remove the start menu?
Yeah, because like you don't care about that on super light. Well, you know that feels like a quality of life thing that you would want on a daily driver. Although actually, yeah, no, yeah, I guess, yeah.
I'm going to go for this one without Defender.
Yeah, yeah. Either way, we want the most extreme version because we're looking for the biggest difference in effect. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with this one. Good. The drive is
very well.
The drive is unarmed.
Chilled water. It's better just to run a chiller. Yeah, but that's the point. Is just if you already have one of these, is what I'm thinking.
And you want -20,
yeah,
as opposed to plus 1, 2-ish. See, I kind of want to get a big chiller. Just because obviously that's far more convenient to leave up and running.
Yes, yeah, that would be something that you could run as a daily.
Because you could easily leave that.
Yeah.
Effectively off most of the time and just have it running, very slightly to bring the temperature down to, 20 C liquid temperature. Then you go, I want more, -1 temperature setting.
Yeah.
Do stuff.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have effectively run it as a water cooling system that just has a really large amount of water in volume in the system. So it just has an enormous amount of heat soak. What's the term for it?
Thermal capacity.
Thermal capacity, yeah, and just race to idle all the time. So you need to stand there, or so you're perfectly in the loop.
Or
just put a nice little ring light around here to softly illuminate your face.
You say that. I found today my early 2000s blue LED strips.
Oh, right,
They're like hard plastic ones.
Yeah. Good. Large volume water still takes ages to cool down. Yeah, but once you've got it cooled down though, that's the thing. Plus, also, if you've got a big box, you can just run enormous amounts of radiator with quiet fans on them, kind of thing. So, Pell or Pele, sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, says, Caradog, how's the Arc working for you? Are you using the Arc at the moment? Your video encoding on it?
I am not, only because I was having a weird issue. And I think the weird issue I was having is that Discord does not support AMD for AV1 codec. But my Discord is trying to use my AMD GPU for AV1. So I disabled AV1 in the menu and it seemed to get rid of that weird issue. But that was after I'd already removed and shuffled my graphics cards around.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because I was just in the position where I was like, this feels like a hardware acceleration issue. Let me try the 7900 XTX.
Yes.
The 4090. The A770.
I'll plug in all of my graphics cards.
Yeah. It was also the other reason why I was slightly annoyed by the Corsair PCI kit. So I was like, but now I need 9 PCIe connectors.
Yes. Yes, Oran, the chillers do use more electricity. Theoretically, phase change cooling should be very efficient. However, these particular ones are not very efficient. No, as JD said, this one is looking for 500 or 600 watts from the wall, and it sure as hell isn't moving that amount of heat. Well,
it could be.
Well, that's true.
It depends. It depends on what temperature you want the head to be at. So obviously, if you want it to move, 1.5 kilowatts of heat
Yeah.
for the energy it's shifting,
Yeah.
it can do that, but it would mean that the head was at 60C.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Because we want the head to be at -20,
Yeah.
we are well below that factor of coefficient of that point in that coefficient of efficiency comparison.
Yes.
That's why they seem so efficient. Because the temperature of efficiency is much higher.
Yes. Yeah. However, one of the problems is that we're not just looking to get a lot of heat out of the CPU at the moment. We also want super low temperatures because silicon behaves differently at very low temperature, which is why extreme cooling is such a mythical thing for extreme overclocking, is because silicon just behaves differently at super low temperatures.
It's also the thing that seems incredibly weird and inverse,
Yeah.
is that if you lower the temperature of the CPU uses less power.
Right, this looks interesting. Select your Windows version.
Odd.
Yeah.
Right, before we do that, if I go WinVer...
Interesting.
Right.
I guess now it's going to install a system update for that then.
Right.
Presumably there is certain hardware and or benchmarks that work better on different builds. So
yeah. Interesting. Right. Are we now going to see it effectively do Windows Update?
I'd imagine so. And like they can get away with this because they're like the kind of the kind of people who are running this are running it on systems that will install a build update in 30 seconds. So
interesting.
Refrigeration is much more expensive than air cooling. Yes, this is not a sensible cooling system. This is extreme cooling.
It's very sensible in a method of getting long operation extreme cooling.
Yes.
However, talking about it as sensible for daily use, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. This is race car on track days. You don't drive this down to Tesco, you know.
Yes, in theory, apparently we just did a build update in reboot time.
Sure. Fair enough. Not really important how it's doing it, I guess. Ghost Toolbox. I see. All right, then.
I see.
All right, well, Task Manager. What does Task Manager look like?
It looks like that.
Thanks. So, performance and CPU.
Hold on. There we go. We have an CPU. Yes.
Go to the Performance tab. All right. 93 processes. That's not impressive. I mean, memory usage is really low, 1.4. So yeah, I mean, the actual memory usage is very low. So if you're running this on a potato that has no RAM, then that certainly works.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised to see a lot of stuff running in the background, though. Like, I'm not saying this doesn't work or anything. This is just not what I imagined.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how much of it, like the fact that, for example, search is still running. Like, I know that there's lots of stuff in Windows that kind of breaks if you kill background services. It's one of the reasons why you can never really get rid of Cortana. It's baked into the system. If you actually get rid of Cortana, then the start menu breaks. Like, why the hell is Paint installed? Well, I guess Paint doesn't affect the performance of it, does it? So,
also, I wonder if it's there so you can hopefully recover a dodgy screen snip.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. Fine. Yeah.
But like Windows ease of access.
Yeah. Why is Magnifier there? You know, like
help.
Like if this is supposed to be this is the most cut down we can make it. But then on the other hand, if these things have no impact on performance, then there's no harm in leaving them there.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a question of, well, what is the objective here? If the objective here is to make the computer run faster, leaving these things installed is nothing to do with that. So that's fair. The install, 8 GB install, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously there's a lot of stuff that has been cut out.
Yeah, and as expected, Windows Update is paused until 2076.
Ah, neat. Yeah. Very well. All right then.
Updates are paused until just before Cyberpunk happens.
Okay, so shall we install what? So what benchmarks are we going to run? A CPU benchmark and a graphics benchmark?
Sure.
Have we got? Oh, we could superposition it, couldn't we? Yeah. Cool. All right. So we're going to need graphics drivers. So we need graphics drivers, and then we can lin pack for CPU performance, can't we?
Yeah, or Cinebench.
How would a stripped down Windows install like this affect gaming performance? That's a good question, O'Run, and that's exactly what I want to know, basically. And I think superposition will tell us the answer to that.
Have you got your toolkit?
My guess is that it's not going to have a meaningful impact on performance. I'm going to go grab my toolkit.
Yeah.
I think it's on there.
So I meant to sync the Lianly before we went live.
Fair enough. My guess is that we're not going to see a meaningful change on performance. However, what we do get from this is did it just fall over? Huh. All right, stand by, everyone. What I think we're going to get is consistency. Because Windows Update isn't running and there's a bunch of stuff in the background that's all disabled, the idea is that while you're in the middle of a benchmark, a random background process can't suddenly spike the CPU and throw off your score.
Yep, okay.
So that's the thing, is I don't think we're going to see any actual improvement in performance, but what this would give us is consistency. And there's probably arguments, theoretically, all of the telemetry and stuff should be disabled. So if you're a tinfoil hat nerd and you're like, I don't want Microsoft to know how fast my computer is, then sure, all the telemetry is disabled, so Microsoft isn't spying on you. And there's all of that aspect to it. However, that's a can of worms. So, and also, as Bone is saying, the advantage here is that theoretically you can run Ghost Spectre on absolute bare bones potato end systems. So if you've got like a really old Windows tablet, because like I've got a Windows tablet at home with 2 GB of RAM, and it's functionally worthless because 2 gigs of RAM can't do anything. But theoretically, you could install super like Ghost Spectre on there, and it's like, cool, we only need 8 gigs of storage and 2 gigs of RAM. And now we can run Windows at a good user experience level. So there's two ways of approaching this, is raw performance for benchmarking and the ability to run on a potato system. But the other thing as well is that like all of the Xbox Live services are missing from this install. So you want to play Sea of Thieves with your friends, you can't do that. It's not going to work.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
So that's the thing. This is the problem with debloating, is that you will have a lot of stuff will be missing that you do not realize will be missing until you need it. However, what will be interesting is if we superposition this and find that the superposition score is noticeably higher than a vanilla Windows install, that would be very interesting. Because if you were competitive benchmarking, you're going to get a higher score.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, do you know what isn't going to be on here?
You find Ghost Spectre very functional. Still haven't run into something that doesn't work. Interesting, yeah.
Do you know what isn't on here?
What isn't on there?
A web browser by default.
Oh no, there's no Edge. Interesting.
Well, yeah. So that means that I'll need you to grab me NVIDIA drivers.
Very well. Okay. I'll get you a browser and some drivers. That's interesting that they haven't stuck. I guess it's a distribution issue, isn't it? Because I was about to say, I'm surprised they didn't just stick on a copy of Chrome or Firefox or something like that. But then you've got all of the licensing of distributing Chrome or Firefox.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
So yeah. Oh, someone said refer to Ghost Toolbox. What is Ghost Toolbox? It doesn't do anything when we run it. There should be downloads on the toolbox. Is the toolbox running in the system tray or anything like that? Because the Ghost toolbox...
Oh, it stayed open longer this time.
Ah, interesting.
Maybe it needed rebooting.
Yeah.
Or an internet connection.
Oh, it's doing something. All right, we'll run through this and let it run. I'll grab some stuff in the meantime, just in case.
Please update your browser.
All right. Do you want Chrome or Firefox?
I am going to take Firefox 13.
Also, my keyboard isn't working.
Download. There we go. I have now installed Firefox.
Okay. That's good, because my keyboard doesn't work, so...
I think your battery died, because there was a red light on the right-hand side.
It's got no wireless. I think it's... I'll tell you what it is. It's the bloody USB ports on this case.
Do only some of them work in certain orientations?
They're just worn out. Something Corsair USB ports suck. But then on the flip side, though, the USB ports on a workstation get absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, yeah, they suck, but also they're on
Microsoft Legacy.
Ledge Legacy, I see.
Edge Legacy. Legacy. Oh, and then we've lost picture again.
Oh, that's the second. Is it trying to install a graphics driver and failing?
I don't know.
All right.
I am, however, going to unplug from the capture card.
I will once again try and get you some graphics drivers. All right. Right, let's do some changing around. Right, we're just going to cut back to Facecam for a sec while we sort this out. Oh no, I think I just closed bloody YouTube Studio because I'm a dunce. It's fine, it's fine. Everything is still live, but yeah. I just done goofed.
Odd.
Right, can I still open? Yeah, yeah, that's still fine. Yeah, good. All right, never mind.
Oh no, I can never end the stream.
Pop out dashboard. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Oh, that's useless.
That's incredibly useless. What?
What? Why would?
What? I
just want to share something with you guys. This is why I hate streaming on YouTube. So get this. Let me just switch to desktop. So here's what I'm seeing on the computer that I'm looking at. So you can see I've got YouTube Studio open at the moment, and I was just like, oh, what's this? Pop-out dashboard? Would that make a compact one? That would be useful. Let's just see what that is. And that's it. That's what you get. This is useless. Like, what I wanted was just like a nice compact version of the dashboard that had the chat and the preview and stuff like just a more because this page doesn't compact very well. But whatever. I'm ranting. Right. Capture Facecam. Right. I'm getting the NVIDIA drivers for Caradog. That is my objective right now. Reject cookies.
I have
what have we got
downloaded
here?
the
3060.
drivers.
Yeah.
The drivers are downloading.
You are downloading the drivers. Okay, fine. I will stop acquiring things. I'm working too slowly for Caradog. He's too quick for me. Caradog too strong.
It's fine. Just pay attention to the chat.
I'm going to go back to the chat. All right. Da da da. So yes, people talking about running this themselves. Yeah. So again, for the people who are looking at this going, oh, I want this. How do I get this? Again, remember, this is not recommended for daily drivers. Even though, like, we'll get a working system out of this, but this is the thing. This is an extreme debloat. There's going to be a lot of stuff that doesn't work, and it's blacked out again. Oh, it's back. Okay. Yeah. You seem to have some drivers installed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is to do with it installing graphics drivers in the background, isn't it?
I think so, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But it just can't recover, apparently.
Yeah, or at the very least that it's even trying to auto-install drivers. That seems to be the opposite of what you would want on a benchmarking system.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Although maybe it's just because it's a fresh install.
Maybe.
And you're supposed to get your drivers sorted out and then it won't touch them or something, you know.
Maybe, but killing the screen from working.
That's true. That's a problem. Right, we'll get the graphics driver installed and then we'll bring the capture back up because we think it's the system trying to install a graphics driver is why we keep losing capture. So let's see. Firephone says, did it get a BT internet offer? I was in talks with another ISP. A viewer of the channel emailed me and said, hey, I work for this ISP. You should contact them and get an offer. And I did. And they made a good offer. However, upon closer inspection earlier on today, I came to the conclusion that I'm better off with BT. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and take the BT offer. And I'm just gonna push that through this week, basically. I've been whinging about the price, but I'm just going to pay up.
I still think it's worth commenting to them of just the fact of it's just like, well, you seem to be somewhat more expensive than BT and offering me less good stuff.
Yeah. I mean...
Point of feedback for your contract.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it would make... yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Not TalkTalk. No. I wouldn't be going to TalkTalk. Like I had a rant about them on the last episode when I said no, TalkTalk were bad and I disliked them intensely. Yeah. But yeah. Right. Zella, wait, I just got here. Is that bottom of a fridge to cool a video card? This is a freezer. At the moment, the chiller is cooling our CPU. So
if you swap to the bench cam.
Yeah, go to bench cam. Yeah, so
you'll see that this tube goes all the way around and then to here. And yes, it's cooling the CPU.
Ooh. Yeah, so yeah, this freezer is currently cooling our CPU. That's not the focus of today's video, but as you can see, it sits at -20. So we'll be doing a more in-depth stream of this guy, possibly next week. Like, are we going to get serious with this next week?
Certainly, I think we're going to do a far more intense round of testing.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah, so I think next week we're going to get serious with the chiller, and we'll actually we won't be doing like lots of overclocking and big numbers. We're mainly just going to be tuning because what this needs now is tuning. We need to tune the fan profiles on it. We need to try different. Different mount pressures. So like we need to run it with a steady load and tighten and loosen the screws and things like that so we can actually figure out how to set this up properly. All we've done at the moment is just hook it up, turn it on and see if it functions, and it functions, which is a lot more than what it did the last time we were using it. So yeah. Overkill or just for fun? Just for fun, this is an extreme cooling system. This is not the kind of cooler that you would use on a daily driver. However, it is theoretically capable of extreme cooling. This sits between This sits between water cooling and liquid nitrogen. It's not as cold as liquid nitrogen. However, it can go colder than water cooling can. That's what it's all about. So yeah, TalkTalk are not bad. They are though. So yeah, I had them. They're bad. TalkTalk
they're bad because they continue to get hacked by people using PHP exploits that are older than the people hacking them.
Yeah, and also they keep putting like 100 people on one connection. So as soon as 6 p.m. comes around and peak hours start, your internet speed tanks. Which is why I left them in the first place. It's just every time, like I used to have them in the old shop, and as soon as it got around to like 4 p.m. or so, when people started getting home and internet demand started going up, my internet speed would noticeably drop off. Whereas on BT, never had that. Just not been an issue. So yeah. Didn't Caradog daily a chiller for some time? Yeah, Caradog was dailying this boy for quite a while.
Yeah, on my 4170K.
On your 41, I thought didn't you run it on a 3950X for ages?
No, I've never owned a 3950X.
Oh.
No, it was on my 4170K.
Oh. Because I thought you killed an Aorus Master at some point.
Yes, with that 5950X.
Oh, fine, yeah.
That's why it's got those circular scratches on it.
Yeah.
They're literally from the head.
Fair enough.
There you go. We should have capture now.
Okay, going back to capture. Bam.
1080p extreme.
Let's reactivate the capture. We don't have capture. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to replug the capture card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is there no box for it? Should then there be a black box?
Oh, the box you're looking for comes up when you uncheck it, and
No. Shouldn't it be displaying on the display?
Yes.
As
however,
a box not getting a signal.
The card is not. Yes, you are correct. However, it's working now. The card was unresponsive and not sending a signal to the computer. So the computer was not receiving any signal to know how big the box would be, so it was not drawing the box.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, we are now superpositioning. So, what have we got in here? A 3060 or 3060 Ti? So we've got, this is a 3060 Ti. What are we expecting from this? 8,000, how's that? What profile are we on?
This is on 1080p extreme.
1080p extreme, yeah. So I'm
sitting just under
I'm
60.
guessing 8,000 points. Yeah, 8,000 is my guess.
Yeah, we'll have a look at obviously the online.
Yeah, we can check
and just get an idea.
To put things in perspective, a 3080 Ti will do 12,000 stock, and a 3080 vanilla will do about 10,000. So I'm expecting approximately 8,000 or so from this. We don't care how high the score is, we just want it to be a valid score. What matters is that whether this score will be higher or lower than when we switch to the vanilla Windows install. So it will be the difference that matters. What's this Ghost Spectre Windows all about? So what we're running is we're running a very debloated install of Windows that has a lot of stuff cut out or disabled, with the intention of providing a more consistent environment for benchmarking. So yeah, theoretically, what we should find is that we get either a slightly better benchmark on this version of Windows because there's less going on in the background, or B, more reproducible results. So like hypothetically, I mean, it's hard. I was going to say if we ran this multiple times, our run-to-run variance should be really tight. But also there's a lot of factors that we're not controlling here, like graphics card temperature. We didn't preheat the graphics card. So if we run 2 runs, the second run is going to score lower than the first run. So actually, we're going to need to run 2 runs anyway. We should preheat because the first run is going to be slightly higher because the card was cold.
Well, in theory.
Yeah. Personally, I would run a second. 7,000. Okay, fine.
Can you open Notepad?
Sure thing. Right.
We'll just note this down.
Notepad. Right. So
this is run
7113. 7113. Cool. Yep. Hit it again. So let's see. Spectre. Run 1 cold. I'll call that idle cold because it's been switched on for a long time.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been loaded. Okay. Calvani says, I run a very lightweight, secure and responsive version of Windows myself. It's called GNU Linux. Got 'em.
I half expected that to be, I run DOS. It has the fastest UI response time.
Insert meme here of the man at the end of the aisle of urinals, and the other guy walks up to him and says, I run Arch. No one cares! So, yeah.
I mean, the Arch people clearly do.
Do you think they have their own gravitational field so they all slowly move toward each other into a big circle jerk? I'm mocking. I'm making fun here. This is a joke. Linux is very good at what. Yeah. Blah blah blah.
I'm sure it's
Hi,
wonderful.
Pianov. How you doing?
My, fancy seeing you here.
Suddenly, someone whose opinion I care about arrives in the chat. Stop shit talking. All right. Arch Linux is for cowards that can't handle Gen 2. Oof. Only femboys run Arch. Oh no. Oh, we're getting spicy in the chat. We're getting spicy. Also, I'm going to move us to the top left, just so people who care can see the stats. That's not that one. That one. No. There we go. There we go. So anyone who actually cares to see what the FPS counter can just see that now. Good.
Need to have a way of making the numbers bigger.
Yeah, I don't think we can do much about that. If anyone cares, then they can full screen the stream. So.
Oh, I thought the capture was cutting off some of the numbers.
No. Good. All right. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, hopefully, if this score is fairly close to the first one, that would be good for us. So we're looking. We want this score to come in at very close to the other one. So we'll run this. Then we'll. I guess we'll linpack it.
I've got Cinebench 23 on the desktop.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. That gives us a score that people can identify with a bit more, doesn't it? Yeah. Linpack is technically a more intensive test, but Cinebench is a bit more accessible. So we'll go with Cinebench then.
Okay.
7196. So yeah, predictably it's a little bit higher. So again, because the first run was when the card was cold, so it would have been boosting a little bit harder for a little bit longer before the heatsink came up to temperature. Right, so Spectre run 2. Preheat. Spectre run 2 hot. So what was that? 7196. Cool.
Yeah, which is a smidgen higher, but it's also a case of just run-to-run variants.
Yeah. I don't know what the run-to-run variants will be like.
No.
If we were over 10,000, I probably wouldn't care about, 80 points of difference.
Yeah.
But because we're at 7,000, that's what, 10%? That's nearly 100
Roughly.
points. Yeah. So that's about a 10% delta. So that's a notable difference. That's not margin of error, but So, and for people wondering, we do have faster graphics cards than this lying around. We could get a big boy out, but it doesn't really matter.
Do we actually have a faster graphics card?
Actually, no. I think you took all the big boys home.
We've got a 5700 XT.
Oh, 3060 Ti will be faster than that, though, won't it?
And then
with the best will in the world.
Oh yeah, no. But I was just like, oh yeah, no, we have. I was like, I was looking, going, do we have anything even modern right now?
Yeah.
There's a 980.
Yeah, no.
Then there's these.
You took all the big boys home and then didn't sell them.
Hey, I listed them on eBay. Nobody bought them.
Very well. On that note, could you do me a solid and I need... Oh, I don't have time.
What do you need?
I was going to say I need to borrow some big graphics cards for the April Fool's video. I'll just use my 3080 Ti this next week. So I actually have to record that video this week because I'm running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And I was going to ask you to bring in like the 3090 or something, but I'll just use my 3080. It's good enough for the joke, so.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's fine.
Well, I can give it to you Monday night.
Oh, yeah. If we're about, is that this Monday that's happening? Like in 2 days' time?
That is my understanding.
Yeah.
But
assuming that happens, yes. If you could bring it with you, that'd be awesome.
That's
fine. But yes, very good. What's the eBay shop? I'll take a look. Are they still listed?
The 4090 is, yeah.
Yeah. I took.
It's an MSI Supreme X 4090.
It's hard for us to get to eBay links at the moment, but what we'll do is if you jump on the Discord, Marco, you should, everything you're selling, just lob it in the for sale section on the Discord.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what we'll do, there is a for sale section on the Discord that is stuff only, which is basically when we're trying to get rid of stuff, we list it there. Yeah, we'll drop a load of links in there as just stuff that we're getting rid of, or rather stuff that Caradog is getting rid of, because all of the nice things in here belong to Caradog.
That's not quite true.
It's just mostly true.
I'm sure you've got some nice things.
I have some nice things. Most of my nice things are in my PC at home. So yeah, I've got some nice things, but yeah, anyway.
There you go. And then there's another one.
7149. Okay, yeah, so we are getting run-to-run variants. All right, so run 3 hot, 7149. 7149. So yeah, so in actual fact, like, so yeah, the cold run at 7113 was slightly below. So basically, Heat Soakers cost us about 50 points. Basically, because
what? Run 1 was our lowest score.
Yeah, and now run 2 and run 3 were very close to each other. And with run 3 being lower than run 2,
oh, I see.
That means we're not getting any temperature benefits anymore.
Sure.
Whereas run 1 was noticeably. Oh wait, run 1 was a lower score.
Run 1 was the lowest score. Yes. Hence my point of the numbers being smaller.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So. Yeah. So heat soak is not affecting our runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. I think that would only matter if we actually cold booted the system when the card had been off for like an hour or something like that.
Probably.
So yeah. Cool. All right.
I am speed.
Zen 3 go brrr.
It's also just a case of like we ran the what was it, the 4170S?
Yeah.
Or something on this.
Yeah, and it took like 10 hours.
And then we ran the 5950X and we're just like, oh, yes. Yes.
Arnold G says, Lion King, all that you see that the light touches is yours.
There you go. Hey! That's good.
What, particularly impressive score?
30,254.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get good scores because we're on the chiller. So we're at stock speeds.
Because on this, I couldn't push 27,000.
Oh, interesting. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me write this down, and then I've got to. Right, hang on a minute. Cinebench.
This is R23.
Right, Cinebench, run 1. We're going to call this idle. Yeah, idle. I'm going to call this run 1 idle. And what was our score?
30,254.
30,254. Cool. All right, run 1 idle. All right, do you want to hit it with a couple more, and we'll just get some run-to-run variants?
However,
move window to right side. Yes, I concur. Good. Right. Let's see. You wouldn't have a Cisco switch router or access point to get rid of it by any chance? No, afraid not.
There you
go. Okay. Right.
Run 2.
Oh, bloody hell. I was trying to catch up on chat and we're done already. Run 2. Okay, run 2 hot. I say hot in quotation marks. All right. Score?
30,092.
30,092. 092. Cool. So that's lower. So again, heat soak seems to be a complete non-issue. So it looks like we're just in run-to-run variants already. Has the Caradog overclocked the RAM yet? No. We're not looking for big numbers, though. We're looking for just consistency.
Yeah. Also, that's why I ran Cinebench, because Cinebench basically doesn't care about your RAM.
That's a very good point.
And all I've done is just set this to 3600.
Yeah. That's fair. Sleepwalker said, have we seen the RM850X shift? You're right there. Oh, I banged down my bottle then.
And it just made this sound like it bounced.
Oh, I
was
see.
just like, oh.
Might have just been...
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty set. Oh, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, have I seen the RM8 shift? I don't know how much I care about the Corsair shift power supplies. Like,
I like that they exist. They're not particularly relevant for me right now.
Yeah, they seem to be very niche use case as far as I'm concerned.
I would like them if they were the other way round. So they'd shifted the power supply that way and had the access on this side. Because that would work better for me and not having a shroud.
Yeah. However, everyone has a shroud, so that wouldn't work for anyone else. But
yeah, I guess you can just flip it.
Yeah. I don't see the I think it's a gimmick, quite frankly. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's a gimmick. It's not something that I would pay for. If it has it, it has it, but I don't care, is the bottom line. I don't think it's a revolution in power supply design.
Yeah.
Right, run-through score is... And then you can carry on, sorry.
30,057.
30,057. All right, we're losing score at the moment.
Yeah.
So actually, I wonder if that's a thing, actually. I wonder if that is heat soak setting in, because we're going lower.
Kind of.
Do you want to give it one more, since they're so quick?
I will do in a minute. I was just gonna wait and waffle for a bit and then click it again.
Do you think?
Yes, I was just saying I liked the... Damn it. The focus, not the focus, the sync or the synchro from Seasonic, the Seasonic
I was about
one.
to say, Fluffy Tailor's just said the Seasonic is better. What's the Seasonic do?
Basically, you have the power supply and you have one cable come out of it that's
it's
12
got the
volts
distro
only,
board.
and then it's got the box that does everything else, and that just moves it to a nice panel on the back of the computer.
Yeah.
For their specific case that they've designed for it, it works really well. And obviously, you've got a 24-pin cable that's like this long. And stuff, just because it's just going whoop.
Yeah,
just stuff like that I really like.
I think that's great, but because it's very specific as to when it installs really nicely, it feels a little bit niche. Because distro boards and plates are great; they're just incredibly system specific. Yeah. So it's difficult to say, oh, that's what Corsair should have done, because it's like I can see why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So. The big problem with the shift is that the connectors are tightly bent against the back panel. Yeah, it just moves the problem to somewhere else. And yeah, it seems to me that it's only useful for someone who's changing their power supply cables often. And I can't think of an example of that.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, score for 4?
Is 30,236.
30,000, 200 and...
36.
36, okay. And that was after a slight wait. Did we wait a noticeable amount of time?
Yeah, by comparison to 2 to 3.
Yeah, so there's
1 to 2, 2 to 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of heat soak, but this isn't really scientific because we don't even have a high overclock on anyway, so we're not pulling big numbers.
This is entirely the just opportunistic boost variants. Yeah, effectively.
That's fair. So we are seeing some variants that that correlate with whether we're giving the freezer time to recover or not.
Yeah,
however,
which is just interesting.
Yeah, our heat load isn't consistent enough for it to really mean anything. It's certainly something to look out for when we're doing testing, though.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Okay. Is there anything else we want? Yeah. Okay. We're switching systems.
I don't think there's anything else specifically.
Yeah. Okay then. Is RTX sound filtering on? You don't hear the chiller. We're just using the OBS built-in filters, which are incredibly good.
Is it just the basic Speaks one?
Let's see. I use the filters I run. I use this Speaks and noise suppression. Yeah,
which is the low CPU, low quality.
So OBS has 2 built-in filters. It has Speaks and RN noise.
Why did you not turn off when I told you to turn off?
RN noise is good quality, more CPU usage. Speaks is low CPU usage, low quality. RN noise will cut out more stuff. However, I find that Speaks has a better sound profile. If there's a lot of background clatter, a lot of unwanted noises, then RN noise is incredibly good. But if we take a typical Adam and IT video, for example, I don't want people to hear fan noise and road noise from outside, but I do want people to hear the clink of the tools on the bench. So the interesting thing is that Speaks will filter out a motorcycle driving past outside, but it won't filter out me dropping the screwdriver. Whereas RN noise will cut everything. So if let's say you're in a workshop environment and there was a guy working next to me, I don't want people to be able to hear what he's doing. However, I do want people to hear what I'm doing on the bench, because that adds a lot more character to the video. So I use the lower quality one because it still brings in just a bit of environmental sound. So it depends on how much you want to filter. So bottom line is, Speaks will get rid of fan noise. You guys can't hear the chiller at all. However, RN noise I think is a bit too aggressive and cuts out too much, and it makes everything a bit too clinical. So yeah. So yeah. However, for posterity, I'll just do the demonstration again. So if I switch off noise suppression, so my mic doesn't have any noise suppression on it now. It's still cutting out a lot of stuff because it's a lapel mic, but if I put it over here, that's the noise the chiller makes. And it's very noticeable, but it's not deafening, you know. It's literally a fridge buzzing in the background, you know. There's a lot of fan noise from the condenser fan, and there is the general grumble hum of the compressor, but it's tolerable. You know, it's not like we've got, if you had a rack mount server here with screamers in it, that's unpleasant to be around. That's like, you don't want to be in the same room as that. Whereas this is just like, yeah, I wouldn't want this while I was trying to play games, but this is fine, you know? Yeah, this is actually incredible. As I say, I don't think we're getting the full noise across in this mic, but it's still very, very agreeable.
It's very tolerable.
Yeah, considering this is an extreme cooling setup where noise is no object. Like, we haven't even got any fan control on this. This could go way quieter.
Yeah, because these are just the fans on 100% speed.
Yeah. All right. So we're on our previous bench setup, which, to my knowledge, has not been fiddled with at all, has it?
No, it's just a vanilla Windows 10 install with Windows updates doing Windows Update stuff and drivers doing driver stuff.
Did we reinstall Windows after I tinkered? Because at some point I cut out some background some background
we've reinstalled like 5 times since then.
Yeah, cool. So it hasn't. Yeah, so this is absolutely untouched. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So initial run.
Yeah. This is going to show significant difference because.
Right. 1 sec. Superposition. Oops. I'm just renaming some of my lines. All right, so vanilla Windows, Cinebench run 1. I'm going to call that hot because it's been well, no, the system has been off. I'll call that idle. Yeah. Okay. Right. Go.
26,921.
Wow. Okay, that's a big difference.
Yeah. This install is seemingly super underperforming.
Yeah. So let's give it a couple more spins and give it a. What's the time? Oh, it's hard to tell at the moment. When did we start? 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we're about an hour and 20 minutes at the moment. Sorry, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So we'll give Cinebench a couple of spins. We'll run 2 superpositions, and then shall we quickly blat just a clean vanilla Windows install and see what that does?
Yeah, sure.
Just in case this Windows install is balked.
Yeah, it does seem to be performing slightly low.
Yeah.
Because I would have expected 27,928 something.
Yeah.
So just a case of just a smidgen higher. Yeah, there we go, 27,131.
27,131. Yep, so that's run-to-run variance.
Yeah.
We'll give it a third run just for posterity.
Yeah.
Because it takes 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll hit superposition. Need some chipset drivers installed. Maybe, yeah. Have we got chipset drivers on this install? Normally we don't bother with that. I know it makes a difference. We just haven't really done that because we haven't.
It should have whatever Windows does.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the comparison of what does the Ghost Spectre one do? What does the Windows do?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
27097. Yeah, there we go.
27097. Oh, yeah. We are very much 097. We're very much run-to-run variants now. Cool. All right, superposition.
Yeah. Oops.
I think we can bin the fourth run. Yeah.
Yeah, only because we ran 4 on the other one. I'll just see if this one ticks up or down. In theory, this one should trend downwards.
All right. If I were pricing a gaming build at the moment, what would you think is best bang for buck? Yeah, that's a real length of string question.
Okay, and this one is 27131.
27131.
Again.
All right. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Superposition. All right. So how much is PC? Yeah, it depends on what you're building at the moment. I have to admit, the past couple of I've got a couple of customers who've come in recently asking about gaming PC builds, and on some budgets, I am looking at Intel at the moment because I think Intel have got a better mid-range because AMD's mid-range is still currently overpriced because of the cost of AM5, and I don't really like the idea. Unless you're building low or mid, I don't like the idea of buying AM4 at the moment. It's not bad. I just don't want to buy a platform that is effectively obsolete is a strong word. I don't want to buy AM4 at the moment knowing that it's a dead end. Yeah. AM4 is a dead end. That's the problem. It's still
not just that, but it has been replaced.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is I don't want to recommend people to buy AM4 and AM5, even if you're getting like a 7600 or something like that, because of the cost of the motherboards and DDR5, is still fairly pricey. At the high end, obviously it's price competitive, but for the mid-range, I think Intel might be your better bet at the moment because the 13600K is a wrecking machine. It's an absolute demolisher of worlds for its price tag.
Yeah.
So I haven't spec'd up a 13600K machine, but there is certainly someone who was asking about a £1,000 computer the other day, and I was thinking, 13600K might be the way forward there, you know. So I haven't spec'd anything up with actual hard numbers, so I don't have a real answer for this question, but you should definitely consider both sides of the fence because AM4 is a dead end, AM5 mid-range is arguably overpriced, and I think 13600K build is probably the way forward right now, just because of how devastating the 13600K is.
Yeah. If you need a touch more than that, obviously you've got the 13700.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Does the U on the end of Intel laptop CPUs mean that it's a low power efficient SKU? Yeah, that's correct. U is low power. Doesn't mean it's bollocks, but it does mean that it is designed for low power, not for performance.
Yeah. If I can't remember, it will be the like 15-watt one.
Yeah.
Or something.
7800X3D should be interesting for gamers. Yeah, that's the one that we really want to know. That's the one that we really want to know because that will be the bang for buck CPU if it hasn't been nerfed into the Stone Age. Yeah. However, the speculation is that the 7800X3D will be nerfed so as not to just completely, because if the 7800X3D is too good, it will render the 7900X3D and 7950X3D as a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
So AMD want the 7800X3D to be bad, air quotes, so they may have nerfed it. Yeah. We don't know. All right, 7191.
Yeah.
All right, no reasonable change there. So Superposition run 1. I'm going to call this idle. I'm going to call this idle. In fact, I'll call it idle cold because it's the graphics card has had time to cool off again. Actually, no, just idle. Yeah, right. 7191. All right, go. So early predictions are no difference in superposition.
Yeah. That would certainly be what I would expect. Is very little difference in superposition.
Yeah. However,
I would expect
we are seeing a difference with Cinebench.
Yeah.
But that might be because this Windows install is crap. So
perhaps.
But then you. Well, yeah, because background processes aren't going to affect superposition by a meaningful amount because superposition doesn't care about CPU.
Yeah.
So yeah, whereas Cinebench will be heavily affected by background processes that are spiking the CPU in the background.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So yeah, interesting.
Quentin says, I foresee the 7950 X3D and a 7950 X3D2 with a cache on both CCDs.
To be fair, that is somewhat what I expected them to do with it.
Yeah. It seems strange
that
it didn't have it in the first place.
I expected them to do that for the 7950X, and then for the 7900X to have one CCD with, one CCD without.
Yeah.
Just because I expected them to build the 7950X to be a CPU that basically no one would buy.
Yeah.
Because they would have priced it at like $900.
Halo CPU. Yeah.
But put cash on both of them and have unlocked overclocking on it.
Yeah.
But
I can only imagine that there is a technical reason that is preventing them from putting X3D cache on both CCDs at the moment. Because I can't see why the 7950 X3D only has it on a single CCD.
Yeah.
Because it's caused them a pain in the ass. Like, if they want that cache to work properly, you have to park the non-cached cores.
Yeah.
Like, that's a disaster. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still fast, but it's leaving so much potential performance on the table by only having the cache on one CCD. Yeah. It feels like if they could do that, they would have. So there must be some kind of technical problem that they haven't figured out a solution to yet.
I guess. Yeah.
So maybe there will be an answer to that at some point. I wouldn't expect it anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah. 7900X 3D seems to me like the double broke solution to make money. Yeah. Window to left side. Oh, God damn it, Mr. Guru. Why are you like this? Oh. Okay, we're over here now.
I thought you were just going to stick it in the bottom right again.
Oh,
just be like,
that would actually be sensible because that works for both. All right, we're down here now. This is where we live. We could go for just eyes cam. Okay. Am I funny? Someone praise me. 7192. 71, wow, that's 1 point higher. We'll run the third because we've been running 3 runs, but yeah. No prizes for guessing what the next one's going to be.
Yeah. However, we did have a fractionally higher score out of...
Yeah. Although, interestingly, our scores are very consistent on this maybe broken install.
Yeah.
So if we're asking for consistency...
Yeah.
So really... Now, obviously, this is a really, really quick view. I'd imagine that the people who make Ghost Spectre have done an awful lot more testing than Caradog and I have done today. However, if we do a vanilla Windows install and get anywhere near the same scores that we were previously getting, it doesn't look good. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. I'm just saying I don't care because we've got score consistency on what we think is a bad Windows install.
Certainly, at least on the GPU side.
Yeah. So this is not selling it to me, is what I'm saying. And again, not saying it doesn't have a purpose, but it's not making me want to install it on... It's not... Like, I don't like non-standard things. I like everything to be stock because it's really easy. Like, I don't like customizing Windows because it means that every time I install Windows, you have to customize it again. I like to run things as close as possible to vanilla because then you just reinstall Windows and you have exactly the same thing every single time.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't like the idea of running a custom Windows install because you have to go and get whatever the latest version of Ghost Spectre is instead of just getting your Windows 10 flash drive out every single time. And a Windows 10 flash drive, I can make that in 10 minutes with the media creation tool at any time I like, you know. So, yeah.
I half expected Microsoft to be complete cocks with that and to remove the Windows 10 media creation tool.
Yeah.
You know, sort of 6 months after Windows 11 came out and just be like, ha 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 ha.
I mean, it's still officially supported though, isn't it?
Yeah, but just be like, oh, it'd be a shame if you could no longer install 10. I half expected that to happen and just be like, what?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. The dual cache raised the possibility of server sales loss. Does servers benefit from the cache though? I thought productivity loads don't care about the cache.
It depends on what it is. If you're doing, from what I understand, like,
what's that, Muerto?
I think it was MySQL saw a benefit on cache.
That's fair,
I think. And also MySQL is sold on call count. Is licensed on call count, as well as something from, you know, like Hyper-V and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So it's just kind of a case of perhaps having that ridiculous cache amount
36
would have cannibalized those sales.
Yeah, that's fair.
However,
JD points out that lower CPU overhead doesn't help GPU bottleneck issues. So yeah, that's a fair comment.
So we're not explicitly seeing a difference on the superposition side.
Yeah. So
which is what I roughly expected.
Yeah. This could infer that. Basically, if we were asking the question, is it worth running Ghost Spectre, we could be inferring here that the answer is not unless you're at the bleeding edge. Basically, if you're at the bleeding edge and you're trying to you're trying to wring every last drop of blood out of the system, yes, this is going to help you.
Yeah.
However, if you're a casual, no, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever.
You'd also,
at the moment, we're being very casual, which is probably why we're not seeing the benefit.
Yeah. You'd also probably see differences in, like, the... oh, God, who's it who makes Time Spy and stuff? In the 3D Mark stuff, just because they're more CPU and RAM intensive, even on the GPU benches.
Fair.
And like you might see benefits in game because obviously games are not pure
CPU power off.
Modes. Yeah.
All right, you swap that. I'm going to grab a Windows 10 flash drive. We're going to blast a Windows 10 vanilla install first. Oh, have you got the graphics drivers on the external drives?
I don't.
Because it will probably be faster to switch it on and copy them there than to download them again.
Yeah, okay.
And what was I looking for? I'm looking for the staff lanyard, which is in that computer over there. Whoop. Freezer's holding up very well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Yep. I'm very excited to actually start doing cool stuff with this now.
Yeah, certainly as it seems to be running absolutely fine.
Yeah. Also,
the only thing that's intriguing is just we've got nothing on the board.
True. Yeah, but then on the other hand, we're not shooting for low temperatures. Like previously, we were looking for -30, -40. So offload, that's going to sink through the CPU more. Whereas because our idle temperature is higher, it may just not be sinking through the board as much.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's a good thing because it's easier to manage.
Yeah.
Because certainly the last time we were actually using this thing properly, we were condensating on the board.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, like, this is potentially turning into a very, very easy to manage extreme cooling solution, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anything interesting vid-wise? No. You may have noticed there's not been a lot of videos recently. It's because videos are a bust or there's just been nothing interesting in lately. So yeah, I'm working on stuff in the background, but there's not a lot going on at the moment. So the board has a lot of mass to cool down. That is also helping. Yes, the board is. How is the backplate functional or aesthetic on this? I forget.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a thermal pad somewhere on the backplate of this board, which will be translating some of the thermals over. But yeah. If you're on the bleeding edge, you should probably go to hospital, maybe. Lovely accent, New Jersey. British! However, also I'm slightly tipsy because I've been drinking alcohol on an empty stomach, and I'm a lightweight. So... CPU temperature, 0 to 1 degree C. It's still cool. Not a lot of videos. Are there any videos? I don't have anything lined up for Tuesday, no. I might see... The video that I'm working on a video in the background that is about full body tracking for VR, which is a personal project video. And I've been working on this one for several weeks now. And that is nearing completion. But I don't want to release that one after the Insta360 video. I want to actually put out a repair video as the next one. So even though that one is, like, if I gave a big push, I could probably finish that this weekend. But I don't want to release that one immediately after a review video. Because 2 off-topic videos in a row is going to have people going, where are the repair videos? You don't do repairs anymore. So that one needs to wait until a repair video comes out. So I think at the moment, I do have a repair lined up that I'm going to film. I just haven't done it yet. So I think I'm going to gamble that I can get that done on Tuesday and then release a video on like Wednesday or something. So there's kind of stuff in the pipeline. It's just, yeah, it's rough at the moment, basically. Focus on quality, not quantity. Yeah. The lads video, when I get it done. There's no British accent, it's Dorset. I don't have a Dorset accent. I'm home counties.
I was going to say, this is very much not a Dorset accent. Yeah. And if you
Dorset accent would sound like this.
I was going to say also, if you believe that there isn't a British accent, you are woefully incorrect.
The British accent is the home counties accent, in my opinion. Anything else is non-standard. You're either northern or you're western. Home counties is the only valid accent. Anything else is you know, and that includes the Londoners as well with their Cockney accent. They're savages as well.
Well, there's the London accent and then there's the Cockney accent. Well, they are definitely different.
I suppose. Cockney is EastEnders. What's London if it's not Cockney then?
Take RP and soften T's, R's, and so on a smidgen from that. Make the pronunciation more colloquial, but still an RP pronunciation.
I see. Can you give me an example, please?
Not specifically, because I don't have the accent.
Okay.
But a case of, imagine RP to home counties, how just the formal, making home counties more formal makes RP.
Yes.
And then do the same, but for a slightly different region.
Fair enough. Hopefully someone in the audience is following that, because I'm sort of going, I know that you're describing an accent is complex and you're doing a good job of describing it, but my brain is going, so.
Yeah, but it's similar to, you know what I would describe, kind of down from Londoners, who are the Range Rover owners, the Burberry wearers, the MacBook owners.
I don't mean to go on a rant here, but
that accent, that is kind of the London accent.
I have an Apple laptop and it's not working.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it to the Apple store in London because they'll charge me twice the price. So I've come down here to the Boondocks. I'm not saying this is how Londoners talk. This is just I'm being silly. So
yes.
Del Boy's the best. What's Del Boy? He's Cockney, isn't he, Del Boy? He's got ROM, he's got RAM. It's the best computer you'll ever buy. That's a very specific episode of Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, I like that.
Where he literally had a bunch of dodgy Chinese home computers that he was trying to sell. And he was saying buzzwords, but he had no fucking idea how to use or what these computers were used for. So like he'd be trying to sell them to everyone, and they're like, "Yeah, but what does it do?" And he's like, "It computes, you fool!" You know. It's a very soft Cockney accent. I agree.
And they're soft R's.
Soft R's, yeah. Yeah, well, that's opposed to Blink-182 in there. Where are you? And I'm so sorry. That's a hard R, isn't it? I mean, the hard R is something else entirely. However, also, it would be Blink-182.
I was about to say, yeah, the British do have soft R's. The British weren't segregated.
Oof. So anyway, we've got no signal here, so I'm just going to reboot the capture card. And,
I'm going to reboot.
Carrot Dog, I'm begging you, please.
Anyway.
There's jokes and there's the, nope, abort, we're not going anywhere near that.
Would you like a Microsoft account?
No.
Can I interest you in a Microsoft account?
No.
Fine.
All right.
Where are you?
Walking a minefield here, guys. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, nope. How's that weather out there doing?
It's about that time, eh, chaps?
Yeah, righto.
Righto.
Ugh. Do a video with a different accent. Yeah, if you want to hear me doing silly voices, then catch one of my live streams on Twitch. Sigh, your moment has come. And when I'm doing games on that, I will often do very bad voice acting in funny accents. I've got like 3.
I've got 3 looks. 3 looks.
I've got 3
Homeless
different
man.
voices that I can do. Yeah.
Homeless man. 13-year-old boy and a hooker. I've got 3 looks. Sorry.
Carrot Dog, please.
That's a meme that only certain people from a long time ago.
All right.
Or people who are on TikTok.
Fair enough. Oh, commands are broken. Why are the commands broken? Yeah, okay. We might have to fire Nightbot.
Oh.
It didn't really work out very well, and now apparently the commands are broken, so... And the bunny is, look, this is true. Alright. Well, Si, you'll have to do it manually. Grab the link to the Discord, it's in the rules page, and also just do twitch.com/Nethersan. I could do this all myself, but this is what I have you for. I will give you purpose. I chose violence today, didn't I? Yeah. I haven't slept well this week. Nightbot is still watching the Frozen stream? Might be. Yeah, that might be why it broke. Yeah, I will give Sai a 50% pay rise. It takes his pay from 0 to 0. So...
Oh no!
What are you unknowing? I'm not paying attention to anything that's happening.
Accidentally duplicated on the removable device instead of...
Silly walks, maybe. There we go. There's the Twitch. I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order tomorrow at 7 PM UK time on Twitch. Come and give me your Bezo bucks.
How was that going for you?
Yeah, I had a really good time on the first session of Jedi Fallen Order. It's very AAA game, but also in a good way. Like, I was entertained and I'm enjoying the gameplay, which is exactly the purpose of it. Which is the polar opposite of Sekiro, which just infuriated me. And I'm still very, very sad about that. I wanted to like Sekiro. I wanted to get good at Sekiro. But I gave it like 6 or 7 hours of gameplay and was just like, I'm not having fun. And that I'm still sad about that. I don't like rage quitting games. Like, it wasn't a rage quit, it was a sad quit. It was me just saying, I'm not having fun, I'm going to play something else.
Yeah.
You know, and that's almost worse than a rage quit, you know, is just the sad quit where you're just like, I can't be arsed, I'm done, you know. And it kind of frustrates me because, like, I'm not MLG Pro, but I like to think that I'm not shit at video games, you know. And I couldn't get on with Sekiro. I tried, I really did. So yeah, meh. Had a quick look at the Ghost Spectre Reddit. People were mostly talking about smaller install size and less RAM use. Yeah, so far that seems to be the potential benefits that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's worth noting. There is no good at Sekiro. There is trash, and then there's almost okay with it. Yeah, maybe. Any thoughts?
That sounds like a bad game, then.
Yeah.
Because games are designed to be fun and for entertainment.
Yeah.
And if there is no one who is good at it, you made your game wrong.
Yeah. If you set the bar too high, like, Dark Souls often gets a bad rap for people saying sort of like, well, you know, if you think Dark Souls is too hard, then it's not for you, kind of thing. It's like, I'm good at Dark Souls. People have seen me playing Dark Souls. I'm good at Dark Souls. I couldn't get good at Sekiro. If someone who can get good at Dark Souls cannot get good at Sekiro, I think that's a game design problem. Now, if someone wants to say you're just whinging because you're bad at Sekiro, fine, I'll take that on the chin. However, if that to me says that Sekiro is too hard, and I'm a big advocate that all games should have a difficulty level. You know, if you're one of these people that whinges about easy mode, then don't play on easy mode.
Yeah.
If you want to be MLG Pro and talk about how big your cock is, then play on hard mode and say that you beat the game on hard mode. That's what it's for. You know, like Jedi Fallen Order, I'm playing that on hard mode, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what I consider to be medium. It's a good thing I didn't set this game to medium difficulty, otherwise I'd be walking through this.
Yeah.
I'd actually hesitate to say that if I replayed Fallen Order, I'd definitely go to the next difficulty level up and have a better time. However, I'm going to stay on hard mode because it's a more cinematic experience.
Yeah.
You know, but this is what difficulty levels are for. You can choose.
Yeah.
You decide your own level of involvement.
Yeah. I just because oh god, what's it called? The Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Worlds.
Yeah.
Just got a new release last week, I think, called Spacer's Choice Edition, which includes the 2 DLCs and some graphical updates and stuff.
Fair enough.
And I think one of the difficulty modes, the Supernova difficulty mode, has been tweaked slightly.
Okay.
And I went, oh, I'm going to play this and give it a quick go. And I started on the Supernova difficulty mode, and I was just like, thus far, whilst still in the tutorial area, you have not changed the difficulty in the tutorial area.
Okay.
Interesting. Fine. So I can't get an instant 10 minutes of gameplay appraisal of the difficulty.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yes,
but,
definitely.
But also it's a tutorial.
Yeah, I think the tutorial should imply the difficulty level, because that's the thing, is that when you're trying to figure out what difficulty level is for you, you want to know an answer. You need to get a first impression sooner rather than later.
But it's also a case of you can just change the difficulty at any time.
Yeah. So like, if you're going to have a difficulty level that's supposed to be obnoxious, then you need one of the tutorial enemies to do a 1-hit or a 2-hit kill to immediately telegraph to you, this difficulty level is serious. Don't mess about if you're on this difficulty level.
Yeah.
If you think that sucked, you should probably turn down the difficulty level right now. Whereas if you got 1 hit and you're like, oh, okay, they can 1-hit kill me, I'll continue. That's your choice, you know.
Yeah. It's also a case that it seems like the way they've made it more difficult is making it a requirement for you to eat, drink, sleep, things like that.
That sounds like fun increases in difficulty to me.
Which sounds like a very interesting way of doing it.
I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the other installer Windows is just unhappy with Cinebench for some reason.
There's people talking about more stuff in chat. I'll get back to you in a moment, everyone. Chat, I'm just going to log this down.
Yeah.
On the new install, Cinebench Run 1, we get...
29,915.
29,915. Okay, that's run to run from what we were getting on Ghost Spectre.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to run a couple more runs. We want to get something that's just over 30,000 just to confirm. But yeah, okay. So right, we'll run that. So yeah.
Skill-based matchmaking. I don't know how I feel about it, because on one hand, I very much like it for the players who aren't very good, so they don't get wiped every single game.
Yeah.
So they can still have fun.
This is the problem.
I don't like it because I'm 99% certain in the games that I play with skill-based matchmaking, I am in the 51 percentile.
Yeah.
I am 0.5%, 1% better than average, kind of thing. Therefore, every game feels like it sucks.
Yeah. To give an example of that, my friends, one of my friends twisted my arm into playing Apex Legends, which has, in my opinion, awful matchmaking. Because in most matches, and these are ranked matches as well, so it should be matches where the matchmaking is actually good. In most matches, we are in games with platinum that have platinum and diamond players in some teams, which means that at that point it's guaranteed that we will not win the game unless we get a lucky hit, basically. And the only way we can play that game in an enjoyable manner is to hot drop, so we can immediately fist fight and pistol fight with whatever other teams are in that are the same level as us. Whereas if we actually try and play the game properly, where you pick your battles, go and find more loot, and then get into a fight, if you end up being one of the last 2 or 3 teams left, you are guaranteed not to win the game, because one of those teams is going to have a platinum or diamond player in it. And that platinum or diamond player will solo your entire squad because they are that far above your play level, kind of thing. So
interesting. If you're placing that low down, effectively.
Oh, I'm like bronze or something. Yeah. I'm not good at Apex Legends.
Yeah, that surprises me.
But also it's difficult to get good because we keep getting placed in matches with people significantly higher.
I would have thought you'd have, been bottom of gold sort of thing.
No, but again, it's very difficult to gauge because that's it. We have to hot drop. And when you hot drop, it's such a chaotic fight that there's a lot of RNG involved in winning the fight, which is why you have a chance of winning it, kind of thing. Like as I say, I'm not bad. Like when I used to play Overwatch, I was low gold, which is not awful. But in Apex, like I say, if we don't get into fights early on and we end up being in the top 50 or 20%, we're going to be going up against teams that are drastically higher level, which means we're just guaranteed to lose.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. And the same thing happens if we go into like team deathmatch matches. There will be someone in the lobby who is significantly higher ranking and is just massively skewing the scoreboard. And it's difficult to start getting kills if you keep getting picked off by that one diamond player on the other team. So I've been struggling. I really want to have fun with Apex, but I've been struggling to get into it because, in my opinion, the matchmaking sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right, what's this score? Then I'll catch up on chat.
29,998.
29,998. Flat. 0. Sorry.
Sorry.
998.
29,998.
998.
Yeah, 998. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Right. I'm going to scroll back a bit before we get back onto game stuff. Someone said, any thoughts on the NVIDIA AI G and C? What's AI G and C? Does that mean anything to you? No, don't know about that. Okay. No, pass, don't know. So what's the AI G and C thing, just so we can discuss that?
Yeah. But it's like my idea of being good or reasonably good is like in COD. My KD is above 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I'm like 1.001 to 1.
Sure. Yeah.
My win rate is like 47% or something, and apparently the average win rate is saying like 30 something.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. And like when I did competitive on Halo, whatever the hell the current Halo is called, Infinite, I placed gold 4, which is the highest gold.
Cool.
Next match, I won. I went platinum 1.
Yeah.
And I finished platinum 4 before my progress was scrubbed.
Fair enough.
So it was kind of a case of, based off of that, I'm reasonably good at first-person shooters.
Yeah.
The problem was, I didn't enjoy any of those games at all.
Because it's too sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
And it's a case of, I'm a player who placed gold 4, just playing fun games. No squad, nothing. Just, I went, sure, let's do matchmaking, you know. Let's get a rank, let's see how it goes. Place gold 4, hit platform within a week, sort of thing.
See, the problem is, if you got match made and there was like a diamond or high platinum player in your lobby, that makes it significantly harder for you to get kills, which skews your potential.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I'm having in Apex. Because it's just like, you know, I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2 with another friend group recently. And in Killing Floor 2, I can solo suicidal difficulty.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, and hard mode is very easy on Killing Floor as far as I'm concerned. And I can solo suicidal. So, like, I'm not bad at shooters.
Yeah.
So it's just like, again, in Apex, I believe I've got a lot more potential. But it's really hard to do because I'm not the best, though, and that's the thing. So if you put someone who is amongst the best in my lobby, who just keeps killing me, I can't progress.
Yeah.
So that's the difficulty, and that's why skill-based matchmaking is a good thing, because otherwise this happens, you know. So,
but yeah, I'm used to it on the other side with like COD 4 and servers and stuff, and I'm used to being the
Sleepwalker.
Being the diamond equivalent player,
and
just playing in servers and just wiping servers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of I'm used to doing that.
That's fair.
And I'm used to it on both sides, and like I can see how unfun that would be. 3.
3. Okay, right. What's our 1, 3?
30,067. 30067.
30067. Cool. Okay. Right. Superposition then, and we need to start wrapping up. So. We're almost ready to hit a conclusion, everyone. Do you know Fortnite? I've never heard of Fortnite. No, but seriously.
I've never played it.
No, I've never touched Fortnite.
Never played it, and never played Apex either.
Yeah.
So I don't like the style of gameplay, because the style of gameplay I'm used to is Doom, is UT, is an evolution of that with classes, so Call of Duty and stuff.
I've been playing some Apex Battle Royale with friends. However, we've also been playing Apex on Team Deathmatch and Objective mode. I've had a lot more fun in TDM and Objective mode than I have in Battle Royale. Because Battle Royale, I have fun when we're hot dropping. And for those of you who don't know the terminology, hot drop, so Battle Royale game, you jump out the plane, you land in a spot. Hot dropping means you deliberately aim for a place where other people are also landing, which means you are immediately going to get into a fight where you have either your fists or the first gun that you pick up, which is likely to be either a pistol or a bottom tier gun kind of thing. So hot dropping 9 times out of 10 means you're literally you're scrapping. It's very chaotic. Everyone's just landed. The squad hasn't grouped up, and it's just a kind of thing. So hot dropping is very, very funny to me. I like it a lot, especially because if you hot drop where high skill players drop, you have a good chance of ruining their day. Where if you hot drop in a squad of 3, you can just manage to find a solo pro player, and the 3 of you can just gang up and just fist fight them to death, which is just very funny. Like, it's just a ha ha ha, that's what you get for soloing, peasant. Like, if this guy had a gun, he would wipe all 3 of us. But because we managed to find him before he got to a gun, we can ruin his day. And that's very funny to me. However, Battle Royale doesn't appeal to me because it's a lot of running around and then you die. TDM, Objective, much more exciting. That's when I'm having more fun in Apex. I will play Apex with my friends because they enjoy it, and I enjoy playing a lot of games if I'm playing with friends. Whereas there are a lot of games I would not play Apex on my own, not by a long shot.
Yeah.
And Fortnite, yeah, Fortnite doesn't appeal to me, and I don't know anyone who plays Fortnite. So yeah.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. Call of Duty, I never really got into. I haven't for a long time. The last time I played any Call of Duty seriously was Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which I know isn't Call of Duty, but is the same thing.
What?
So it was a World War II shooter, you know. It's a Call of Duty style game, you know, because Call of Duty is its own genre, effectively, isn't it? There's a particular type of momentum and movement and gunplay that is the Call of Duty style.
Yeah.
That is different from other shooters. I think that's reasonable to say. Red Dead Redemption doesn't appeal to me. No interest.
Really?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Huh. I'd have thought it would have been reasonably interesting to you just because it's a big cinematic AAA story
Considering how much I like Elden Ring, yeah, it's got that similar vibe to it where you're exploring, doing quests, stuff like that. But no, Red Dead Redemption just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
So yeah. Dead Space Remake. Now, Dead Space is a game I'd be interested in playing. Dead Space Remake.
Yeah. Just not currently.
Why not currently?
Just give it, 8 to 12 months to get patched.
Is it a bit broken? I thought it had been very well received.
Yeah, by people who play on consoles.
Oh, I see. 71, 79.
So, and the console releases weren't completely broken. Well, unless you played on a PlayStation 5. And then just, visually it was broken, but also these are people who say 250 milliseconds of input lag is fast response time.
Oof. Zing. New Resident Evil. I played
Resi 4 Remake looks really good.
I've played Resident Evil 4 HD fairly recently. I loved it. I thought it was a really good time. It's a giggle, that game. I'm not particularly interested in playing the remake, just because I thought the HD version of it was fine. And I'm not enough of a Resident Evil fan to be interested in playing a new variation of it, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So it looks great, and Resident Evil 4 is a really good Resident Evil. If you play no other Resident Evil games, you will have a good time playing Resident Evil 4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And as someone who doesn't like Resident Evil, I thoroughly enjoyed 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, the remake looks fine. I've no intention of getting hold of it myself.
Really?
Yeah. Just not. I played the first one. I'm like, yeah, I played it. Not particularly interested. I'm interested in knowing more about how it handles. I'm interested in knowing if it has a free cam, for example. And by free cam, I mean an actual twin stick control. So left stick move, right stick camera. Because Resident Evil 4 HD is still tank controls.
Is it?
Yeah. It's third person, but it's still tank controls.
Is it?
Yeah. However, it's very good tank controls, which is why I didn't hate it. Because this is why I don't like Resident Evil, because tank controls are awful. However, Resident Evil 4 has got extremely well-refined tank controls.
Yeah. Huh, okay.
So if Remake actually has free cam, that would be interesting to me, because free cam is just objectively superior in every way, in my opinion. However, I've played it too recently to care.
Yeah.
So
it looks good though, which is kind of the main thing from my perspective. But yeah.
The new remake of Duke Nukem looks interesting. I didn't know they'd done a new Duke Nukem. I thought Duke Nukem was dead after the disaster of Duke Nukem Forever.
I don't know.
What was this?
I've literally never played a Duke Nukem. Any of them. In any capacity.
You're not missing out on much. That's a hot take. Duke Nukem 3D isn't a good game. It just had a lot of shock value because it was extremely graphic and explicit for its era. It had naked ladies in it. It had coarse language. It had drugs. It had gore, and it was sort of semi-realistic gore in the same way that. It had Mortal Kombat 2 kind of gore, where it's like, this isn't photorealistic, but it's very deliberately made to shock kind of thing. That's why Duke Nukem 3D was legendary. As a game, it was pretty bad in my opinion. You know, the equivalent boomer shooters of the era, so like Doom and so on, they were a better game experience in my opinion. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know, Duke Nukem, and also it's aged extremely poorly just because of the way it is, the way it's all, you know, it's rescuing hot babes, and it's like like when Duke Nukem, I think it was Duke Nukem Forever was the vaporware one that eventually got released, and it was awful. It's because shock horror, that humor isn't funny anymore. You know, like I seem to remember that like in the opening scene, you play as Duke Nukem taking a dump kind of thing, and it's just like, this is vulgar humor. This is South Park season 1 humor. It's not funny anymore. It was funny in the late 90s. It's not funny in this era. No one cares, you know.
It was funny because it was new, I guess.
Yeah,
it's kind of a comment
that's
on
it. Run 2.
7187.
7187. All right, let's do that last one so we can wrap up. I think we've got enough information for conclusions, or well, the conclusions that we're going to get to today anyway.
Yeah.
But it's not funny because everyone will cry about it being offensive. It's not funny because it's not funny. I'm not offended by Duke Nukem. I just don't think it's funny. Vulgar humor doesn't amuse me. But then maybe that's just me, you know. Like
I think it depends. There is very much a skill and a talent to vulgar humor actually being funny, and not just puerile and
it's like edgy humor
and talentless.
It is possible to make edgy humor and be like, oof, wow, that's sharp, dude. But then there's some edgy humor where you're just like, I'm not impressed. You're just juvenile. You know. So yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for some of that, it is ruined by people who don't think it's a joke and think it's just kind of truth, fact, kind of thing. It's just like, no, you're just a terrible person.
Yeah. Yeah. And remember, ironic shitposting is still shitposting. But yeah. Duke Nukem had interesting and fun weapons like the pipe bomb and the shrinker. It did, that's true. It did have some interesting mechanics that other games did not have. I don't want to say that there's nothing of value in Duke Nukem 3D. There was definitely some stuff that was of value. It also did... Duke Nukem 3D did also push its game engine to very extreme limits. Duke Nukem 3D does stuff with... what's the name of the Doom engine? I can't remember. Yeah. The Doom engine is a very interesting one because it's 2.5D. And the Duke Nukem 3D did stuff which, as far to my knowledge, the Doom engine is theoretically not supposed to be capable of, and I don't understand how it does it. There's people who will have done explanations on it, but it did do very interesting things with the game engine, and it also introduced a great deal of verticality that Doom did not have because of said limitations. So that it's Duke Nukem 3D is a very interesting game. However, it's overrated. You know, like Duke Nukem Forever was this legendary mythical game that would come out, and I'm like, it's not that good, man. Duke Nukem 3D is interesting, but it didn't define a generation like Doom did, like Quake did, like Half-Life did. You know, it was a cult game. It's like a cult movie. A lot of cult movies, like pop culture movies, they're interesting movies and they're memorable, but they don't change your world. You know, there's a lot of movies where you say, oh, you know, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction. That's a movie that everyone should watch at some point in their lifetime because of how big of an impact it has in pop culture. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good movie. You're not going to watch that and feel like your life has changed, you know. But yeah. You hit a nerve? Yeah, not so much. I don't know. I've just gotten to that point where I've had enough to drink that I can start rambling and ranting at will now.
Ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. That's the one I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay. Run 3. Blow my mind, Caradog.
7183.
Awesome. All right. Said it several times, but you say it again. You're impressed that you don't have to go to the bathroom. I do. As soon as we finish up, I will hit stop streaming. I will take off my mic and I will be going to the bathroom. So yeah, Wiki says it's the build engine. That's the one. Yeah. All right. How do I feel about Mass Effect? I completely missed out on Mass Effect. I'm not a console gamer, so I just never played Mass Effect. I know there were PC releases, but it was one of those series that, because it was mainly a console series, most PC gamers just don't really care about it.
I considered picking up Anniversary or whatever it's called, you know, the one where they remade everything and so on, like last year.
Yeah.
I've considered picking that up to do my first playthrough of the first game.
Yeah.
Just because apparently the first game is reasonably groundbreaking, kind of in that.
I'm now intimidated by how big of a commitment it is to say I'm going to play through the Mass Effect series.
I'm not going to play through the Mass Effect series. I'm going to play the first game.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because I'm going to play it and go, okay, I have now experienced the Mass Effect game.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, System Shock. Yeah, System Shock was a big deal. I never played System Shock. However, I am an enormous fan of Deus Ex 1, which has a very, very similar vibe to System Shock. Deus Ex 1 was a refined version of System Shock. I don't think that's a outrageous thing to say. So yeah. What movie did rock my world? That's a very big conversation, which we don't have time to get into. But a movie that I think does change perspectives. Oh man.
Don't say Requiem or whatever the hell it is.
Requiem?
Is that it? I can't remember. No, oh no, Memento? No. The one where the person's only got like 24-hour memory. And they keep reliving, they try and go through and piece together what happened for a murder or something.
Oh, I see. I don't know that
because
one. No.
That was a film that was 35 seconds of story stretched over 2 hours, and everyone thinks is amazing. And I'm like,
oof. Yeah.
No, this is just this is an interesting way of telling a story, but there's no story being told.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, it depends on what. I can't really give a desert island here because movies affect you in different ways. Like, honestly, the movie that's in my mind at the moment that I would say is an example of what I think is actually a genuinely good, thought-provoking movie, and also in a way a very clever movie, is Dogma. Dogma is also a comedy because it's a Kevin Smith film, and it's got some vulgar humor in it because it's a Kevin Smith film that has Jay and Silent Bob in it as main characters. But also, that's a film that is really good at being a film that you shouldn't take seriously, but also raises some really good points that make you consider the way you were thinking about something in a fun way, kind of thing. So yeah, Dogma was a very good movie. So yeah, yeah. Deus Ex was made by the System Shock people. Oh, there you go then. Yeah. Weird. Was System Shock Eidos? So yeah, fair enough. Alan Rickman in Dogma, yeah. The Matrix was big. The first one was epic. Yeah. The Matrix. Again, this is a really big conversation there
is a very large conversation that you can take out of the Matrix with regards to identity and who you are and what defines that and how you define yourself and how you define your place in a universe.
And The Matrix is also a really good example of a movie that by modern standards seems very cheesy and stereotypical, but at its time was so cutting edge that a lot of people don't understand how cutting edge and bleeding edge it was, which is the reason why it was such a big deal. And because the sequels could never quite recapture that lightning in a bottle for their strengths and weaknesses, in the same way that in music, an example I often give is Linkin Park Hybrid Theory is often a subject of mockery because of Paper Cut and songs like that are very, emo and sort of crawling in my skin and stuff like that. But Hybrid Theory was a game changer When Hybrid Theory came out, it defined nu metal as a genre. It was like, this is a new sound. This is the definitive sound of this genre. This is what this genre sounds like. If you say to someone, what is nu metal? You say, go and listen to Hybrid Theory. And even today, if you take it as a product of its time, Hybrid Theory is an astonishingly good album, you know, in my opinion. It might not be your favorite Linkin Park album, but it is an album where you can say they knew exactly what they were doing with this album, you know. And it's the same with The Matrix, you know. When The Matrix was made, they knew exactly what they were making. They had a very clear vision of what The Matrix was in that movie. I think the sequels possibly started struggling a bit to really figure out what they were trying to say. There's a discussion there. But The Matrix 1, in a bubble, was incredibly tight, you know.
And it was very much...
There was only one Matrix film.
It was very much the story that the Wachowskis wanted to tell about themselves.
Yeah, see, I would love to have a conversation with someone, maybe you if you know, about the full story about that, because obviously these days there is a very big interpretation about parallels with transgenderism and stuff like that, and when I don't really understand that part. Like, I get that The Matrix is about identity, but I don't fully understand about the transgender link there, and I would love for someone to explain that to me. But that would be a different conversation and a different podcast, I think. What are you concerned? You're
just crashed on desktop
again. Sad face. Okay. However, past all of that, Linkin Park hated the term nu metal. I can agree with that because genres and pigeonholing every music into a genre is silly. Case in point, one of a band that I really love, Periphery, their latest album is called Gent Is Not a Genre. They're so annoyed about being said, oh, we're gent metal, that they're like, gent is not a genre, you know. And I'm like, okay, like, I understand that, but it's still gent, you know. Because if you know what gent is, then you'd listen to Periphery and be like, oh yeah, that's gent metal. But that's also pigeonholing it and saying it can't be anything else. So I understand when people say we don't like this particular term. It's because people try and categorize things, and genres...
A lot of the time when people try and categorize stuff, it's so they can control it.
Yes, exactly that. Categorizing so you could... Because the problem is... Oh, wow, that's not happy, is it?
Yeah.
A lot of the time when people... You have to have a degree of categorization and generalizing, because, you know, when someone says, okay, I've never heard of Periphery, what kind of music do they play? And you say, oh, I don't believe in genres. I'm like, that's not an answer. You know, whereas if you say,